What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sleazy here, and if anybody had on their bingo card, will the government intervene in GamerGate 2.0 and take the side of Sweet Baby Inc.? I did, sadly. Somebody even left a comment who's paying for all this, and I was like, oh, it's the government. Like it's always the government funding these weird ass things. But anyway, no, yeah, they absolutely are funding GamerGate 2.0 on the side of Sweet Baby Inc. I don't know how many times I have to say, fucking called it. U.S. government-funded nonprofit Take This responds to Sweet Baby Inc. backlash by calling on video games industry to clearly and unequivocally denounce Gamergate. And I made multiple videos at this point about Gamergate, Sweet Baby Inc., the whole works, so it should come as no surprise that the government that hates you wants to back Sweet Baby Inc. In response to the recent discourse surrounding the work of the aforementioned narrative consulting company that actually puts writers in writing rooms for these games, the mental health and video game-centric nonprofit organization Take This has called on both players and the industry at large to clearly and unequivocally denounce Gamergate. Because we have to inject DEI, because that's all that matters to them. Making good games doesn't. It's quite literally just shitting on gamers. A 501c3 nonprofit founded in 2014, Take This describes itself as a mental health organization providing comprehensive resources, support, and consultation tailored for the unique needs of the game development community. You know, it's funny that this never existed, was never asked for, and was never needed until these companies started becoming woke and getting taken over by these weird fucking women who wanted to do nothing but destroy video games. Far from a minor entity within the industry, a number of noted figures are counted among the company's governing board members and officers, including Bethesda marketer VP Pete Hines, Ubisoft VP of Global Diversity and Inclusion Rashi Sika, and PlayStation's head of global portfolio and acquisitions Christian Svensson, which are all the people who pay Sweet Baby Inc. Which are all the people Sweet Baby Inc. has said, we're going to extort. Holy shit. Only this time, they're getting paid by the government to pay Sweet Baby Inc. to be extorted to pay Sweet Baby Inc. All funded by the government. Alex Jones couldn't make some of this shit up. Holy shit. In terms of ties to the U.S. government, per a public disclaimer on their various white papers, their work is funded a part of an official Department of Homeland Security research project known as Disrupting Video Games-Based Radicalization Through Collaborative Cross-Sector Networks. So, Homeland Security thinks its biggest threat is parents, video gamers, and Republicans. This is why I'm leaving the fucking country. Like, literally, this is the fucking reason. This joint project from the Center on Terrorism, Extremism, Counterterrorism, Take This, and anti-disinformation AI developer logically seek to develop and share framework for understanding extremism in games. It's a fucking video game. It's not real life. And if you want to be realistic about it, the people who do the extreme shit are the ones who complain about everybody else. It's always the weirdo with green hair fat that the feds knew it will always say is on their radar and do nothing about, but they'll sure as hell make sure they get guns. This includes the development of a set of best practices and centralized resources for monitoring and evaluation of extreme activities, as well as a series of training workshops for monitoring, detention, and prevention of extreme exploitation in gaming, spaces for community managers, multiplayer designs, lore developers, mechanic designers, and trust and safety professionals. So pretty much the government will pay you to make fake jobs that do nothing but point out people they tell you to point out so they can do things about said people. They're government actors. They can be sued. If they are getting paid by the government to create these jobs, to do what the government can't do, they're government actors. In addition, this project will provide a first-of-its-kind collaborative structure for public-private partnership on preventing and mitigating games-based extremism. And again, it's just saying, Taken together, this project will simultaneously improve counter-extremism collaboration in the video games industry while also providing substantial capacity building within and across developers. Holy shit. So this is the same thing we saw with Twitter leaking the Twitter files. How the government went to these companies and demanded they do jobs that they're not legally allowed to do because they would need warrants. Yeah, they're doing this with the games industry. So for all you helldivers out there, mocking these weirdos, the bugs have another government. It just happens to be real. Running to defend Sweet Baby Inc. amidst the ongoing sunlight being shown on their operations, Take This published a blog on March 11th asserting, if you read this, you've probably been hearing about what's being called GamerGate 2. It's the latest targeted harassment campaign within the games industry, and it's aimed at Sweet Baby Inc., a Montreal-based narrative development studio. The campaign also has been impacting entities and games associated with Sweet Baby Inc., journalists covering the issue and associated in various ways with their targets. You also may be at a loss to know how to talk about the issue and what, if anything, you could do about it. That's where we come in. In these spaces, lists of game studios, companies, and associated organizations are being circulated for targeting by members of the mob that historically informed their readers. Large-scale harassment games like this are fueled by political events, as political rhetoric heats up ahead of the U.S. presidential election year. Oh my god. So, these weirdos are funded by the government to actively inject politics into video games. And then when gamers say we don't want politics in our video games, they run back to the government and say, they're rejecting it. We need more money to push the propaganda harder. That's literally what this GamerGate is. It's quit injecting politics. Get the weirdos out of our spaces. And the government's like, throw more money at them. Make sure they win. Hold on. Sweet. Oh, I can't type today. Baby Ink detected on Steam. What are we up to, guys? What are we up to? 266,000 people on Sweet Baby Inc. detected. People looking for anything they're involved in. Fuck, I burped. People looking for anything they're in, and other companies and sharing which games are going to be woke. And sharing them out so that 266,000 people don't buy that game. Because all we want is to have our video games back. But these absolute weirdos can't stand that. So continuing some of the article, turning to address industry leaders, Take This warned, you may be inclined to be quiet or cautious, but that's actually not helpful. So silence and violence. But if you're a white male, you shouldn't be allowed to talk in our spaces. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to call all you morons out, every single one of you, and I'm going to laugh at how weird you are and how you're getting blown out. Hell, in the Helldivers video I just did, the Discord of 70 people is complaining to the studio, asking for representation. 266,000 people on Steam are like, we don't want your shit. And quite honestly, I'll probably file for a refund if they start injecting this bullshit. So yeah, the government's intervening again to make sure the political agenda gets pushed to people who want nothing to do with the political agenda and just wanted to play video games. Well, congratulations, the government's pushing harder to put politics into video games. So guys, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section on this one. While you're there, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this one out. And until the next one, guys, be easily sleazy.